Now, I want to explain about the just-in-time system in this hour. About the just-in-time system, what is this? This can be said as the elimination of waste. And nowadays, what happens? That the competition is increasing day by day, and the competition has also become global one. Earlier, it was the local one. And as we can say that you can find the many organizations all around the world. You will be able to find McDonald's everywhere in the world. You will be able to find KFC everywhere in the world. You will be able to find Vodafone everywhere in the world. So any organization, it can compete around the world. So the organization, in order to survive, it will have to become competitive. And it may be the case of the industry, it may be the case of institute, it may be the case of any type of organization, or it may be even the case of any individual. Nowadays, what market wants? Market wants that we should be able to supply the goods or services at the high quality, and the delivery time should be less, and also delivery time, it should be the reliable one. And also apart from this, it is desired that we should be able to compete globally around the world. And if we say that for this, a person is also, or the manager, he should be also able, he should be also able to innovate. And innovative creativity and the research, they can be said as the need of the hour. Any organization which is giving the due weightage to the organization, they will survive, or they will be able to compete. And any organization which is not giving the value to these attributes, that may not be able to compete in the long run. Now, the industry organizations, they have adopted the many types of techniques and systems, and let us see the strategies. And just in time is set as the one of the goal strategies, JIT system. And about the other systems, it can be supply chain management, it can be total quality management, it can be the agile system, it can be lean system, or like that. Now, I want my talk that will be focused on the JIT system. Now, many persons have defined JIT in their own ways, and this can be categorized as this is a system of the elimination of waste, and it carries the of the many techniques and systems, and whose ultimate objective is the elimination of waste. Now, about the objectives of JIT, this can be broadly said that we want zero inventory. There should be no inventories. We want, because the inventory at many times it adds waste. Inventory means those products of the quantities we don't want, which does not add any value. And if the inventory is in the excess, this can be said as the waste, because it carries the large capital also. Zero failure. We want to work in the quality way so that there are no waste. Elimination of waste, we want to focus on this. Zero let time, we want the let time, it should be the 0, 1. And we also want to focus on the smooth flow process. Supply chain management also achieve this. Our process should be flow, it should be smooth, that for that whatever the requirements are, we should be able to give. Let us say that the material information, they should be available as per the need. Now, what are the basic elements of JIT? People involvement, plants, and the systems. These can be said as the basic elements of JIT. In the people involvement, we just want that we should be able to involve all the people, and so that the quality and the talent of everybody can be used. And if all the people are involved, in that case, they will also achieve the sense of the belongingness. Plants. About the, we want that our plant, it must be updated, it should have the latest facilities, it must have the latest machines, etc. And about the system, our whole system, it should be the supportive one, and environment that we should be able to provide. Then let us discuss what are the critical elements for the successful JIT implementation. About the critical elements, the first and the most important, the will of the top management. If the top management does not have will, or they are not committed, we will not be able to achieve our objective. Informed and committed workforce. Our workforce, this should be the informed and committed one. They should be the well trained, so that they should be able to contribute maximum in the system. Flexible manufacturing. We want that the manufacturing be flexible as per the need, as per the right quality. We should be able to produce, or as per the quantity, we should be able to automate. Right first time quality. This means that we do not want any waste. First time itself, we should be able to produce the good of the right quality. Electronic data interchange, about 20-30 years ago, it was assumed as the something new, but now this has become very common, and we should be able to transfer any information electronically, so that accurately we should be able to see it, and transparently also we should be able to see. And about the, let us say that nowadays, with the help of the fax, WhatsApp, email, etc., we are able to transfer any information immediately. Committed to innovation, as we have said that innovation is the key to success. Creativity, innovation, and research, they should be given the due weightage by the organization, so that such culture should exist in the organization. Choose the right partner and establish long-term links. We should be able to choose the right partner. As we can say that in the case of the Maruti or Hero Honda, they may have their thousands of the suppliers. And these supplier selection, it must be the rational one. And these, whatever the work these suppliers are doing, they will affect the ultimate objective of the organization. Supporting partnership. Many times, supplier may be in the trouble. They must be supported in that case. And let us assume that sometime some supplier is supplying the component, he may be facing some quality problem. He may have some money issue. So depends upon the major suppliers, they must be given the full support. Developing JIT suppliers. Those suppliers, they must be encouraged and developed. Those who are able to work as per the JIT needs, as the JIT wants that the right quantity of the parts and the components, they should be supplied at the right time, and also the right quality and the right quantity. Now, when we apply JIT system, In the case of the developing countries, including India, what are the various problems that are being faced? We feel, and based upon the various studies by the researchers and the others, some relevant problems which has been identified. The first is the inferior quality. This has been observed that in these cases of the developing countries, including India, the quality of the raw material that is inferior. Quality of the parts which we obtain that is also not up to the right quality. And if we does not achieve the good raw material, if we does not achieve the quality component, how our ultimate product can be quality wise competitive? Lack of technology transfer and management. This has been observed that the technology adopted by the developing countries that is also weak, and their management system is also weak, and this system should be good. Now, after the arrival of MNCs in Indian conditions, this technology gap, this has reduced. Workers' motivation, that is less. And because of this, the workers, our workforce, they do not contribute as per their talent. Low productivity. Productivity that we obtain, that, that is also low. And this has been said that the organization which has the high quality and the high productivity, that will be also competitive, and they will be also able to compete at the global level. Non-receipt of delivery by buyer of exact quantity on exact time. This has been also observed that the organization, they do not get the components and the parts of the raw material at right time of the right quality and of the right quantity. Because of this, the work suffers. And the organization, they have to change their system. And because of this, the JIT system, its implementation that becomes difficult. Shortage of raw materials and parts. This has also been seen that many times they feel the shortage of raw materials and the parts. Because of this, the operations, they get affected. Underutilization of capacities. Whatever the capacity of the organization is, that is not being used because of any reason. And because of that also, ultimate result is affected. Unreliable long lead times. This has also been observed that the lead times, they are long, and in this case they are long as well as they are also unreliable. But many times, in the many cases, we have been able to reduce this lead time from 6 months to 6 days or 2 hours in the many cases, and because of that, the efficiency, this has been also improved, and we have obtained the good results. Unreliable transportation system. Our transportation system, that is also highly unreliable one, and because of that, we face many problems, and our work is affected, and our system is also affected. And let us assume that if we want to travel from Kurukshetra to Delhi airport, because of the traffic jam, it may take a long time, and because of that, the 3.5 hour journey, it may take 4 hours or even many times 5 hours because of the congestion of the traffic. Now, framework for the implementation of JIT, or in order to implement the JIT, what will be done? These two models have selected. I want to explain this project management approach to JIT implementation. However, these two approaches, they are up to large extent similar one, and there is no standardized approach for the JIT implementation. As per the case, we will have to make the modifications. Now, as per this, first we should prepare our system. Our system, it must be prepared well so that it can work as per the GIT requirement. Our environment, it must be such. System investigation. We have to invest the weakness of the system. We have to identify these and those should be removed. Support activities. We have to support the various activities. Formation of assembly lines. The assembly lines, they must be formatted. And layout design, the design of the layout, it should be the rational one so that the flow of the work that takes place automatically. Lead time reduction. We should be our goal. There should be able to achieve our lead time at the 0 1. But as we have discussed, if we are able to reduce this from 6 months to 2 hours or 2 days, it means also we have achieved our objective up to large extent. Because if we see that our economic order quantity curve at one point at the lowest level, this is more or less the flat one. And in that case, if we have some deviation, our result that is not being affected to the maximum. Then supplier integration. Our whole system with the supplier, they should be that should be integrated one. And nowadays, people are also using IoT, and based upon that, the system works. Maintenance and continual improvement. Our system must be maintained well, it should be continuously improved because the continuous improvement, that is the key to success in the whole system also and in the JIT system also. And if we talk about our previous one, in this case also, in the existing system, first we focus on the elimination of the waste and the many activities they are being done for that. Let us say that the unwanted cells, they can be eliminated. The setup time that should be reduced, and let us implement the 5S. These 5S are the Japanese word, and which also help in the elimination of waste. Let us say that we should have the good housekeeping. Let us say that we should keep our workplace clean. Our everything should be in the order, etc. And the our shop floor employees, they should be able to perform the multiple functions. And our operations, they must be standardized. And after that, we should upgrade our system. We should have the latest machines, etc. And then the system is to synchronized. And let us say that Kanban system or the cart or the pull system that we should adopt, and whatever the gain that are being shared, they should be also shared in the fair way so that the motivation issue does not exist. Now, what are the drawbacks of the JIT? We should be aware of this because only with that we should be able to take care of these drawbacks so that while implementation of JIT, we should be able to achieve the good results. First is the cultural differences that we observe that The culture of the organization from country to country and the place to place varies. And also, whatever the culture required by JIT system and whatever the existing culture is, in that also there are the large variations. Traditional approach and traditional approach that there are a lot of difference with the traditional approach and JIT system. And any system that cannot be changed overnight, that may take some time, that we should take care. And there is no standard operation or method of JIT implementation, organization to organization, case to case, that also differs, that also varies. And if we work as per the JIT system, we should work accordingly. The autonomy of the individual that is lost, autonomy of the team is lost, autonomy of the method is lost, and we have to work as per the system accordingly. And from industry to industry also, success of JIT varies because in the case of the automobile industry and the electronic industry and the software industries, the results are very good. While in the other cases, in the case of the job industries, the results are obtained, they are not that good. Resistance to change. This has also been observed that everyone has the tendency to resist the changes, and that's why people change the resist the change. Relationship between the management and the employees. It's very often they are not as per the requirement of the JIT system. So we have to also take care of this. Relations that must be developed accordingly. Employee commitment. This has been seen that the employees, their commitment level, that also lacks. Or we also see that the commitment level of the management also lacks. Production level, that we have the more and more focus on the production. And that's why, but in the case of the IT, production only is not important, but the other aspects, such as the quality and the pull system, camera system are also important. Employee skill. JIT system requires that the employees, they should be multiple skilled. Many times we may not be able to achieve it. Compensation is many times that the organizations, they do not want to give the enough compensation, and because of that also the work that is suffered. Now we are able to obtain the large benefits because of the JIT systems, and these benefits, they motivate people to adopt JIT system. And some of the benefits which are said here, that customer, supplier, and the relationship between the suppliers and the customers, they are very close, that we are able to obtain. Because if we adopt JIT system, we are able to achieve this automatically, and we get the good result, and it helps the organization to become competitive. Fast response to engineering changes. The engineering changes, as per that we have to change. As we can see that we have reached 1G to 5G. In the case of the automobile and electronic sector also, we are getting new model after some time. We are also supposed to change ourselves accordingly immediately. JIT system helps in that. Improved competitive position. We are able to improve in the competition. Our position is improved. In the case of the institutes, the ranking is improved by adopting these systems. Improved equipment efficiency. We are also able to improve the competitive. We are also able to improve the equipment efficiency by this. And we are also able to improve the workers' efficiency. We are also able to improve the workers' motivation. We are able to increase the administrative efficiency. We are able to increase the equipment utilization. We are able to increase flexibility, increase profit margin. We are able to increase able to obtain the increased teamwork. The scraps becomes less, overheads become lower, the product cost is reduced, production lead time is also reduced, the purchase load time is also reduced, raw material parts, their requirements is reduced, the space requirement is reduced, we are able to increase quality, we are able to increase productivity, we are able to reduce inventories, we are able to reduce labor requirements, we are able to reduce the paperwork, we are able to reduce work in process, reduce work in process. So because of this, because these benefits we obtain, and these benefits obtain organizations to adopt JIT system. Now, what are the areas of the applications? JIT can be applied in all the areas, and some of the areas, this can be said as the engineering design, setup time and load size reduction, purchasing, flexibility, supplier management, product development, inventory reduction at every stage, marketing, lead time reduction, etc. These are the areas which have been identified by the various researchers in the various studies. However, apart from this, in the other area also, we are able to obtain the application of JIT. And if we say that after the Second World War, Japan was totally fluent, and Japanese, prior to that, they were the champion, and they were also not having the money to invest, but very soon they were able to obtain their recover their economy, and because they focused on the human system, and JIT also contributed in that, and the first JIT came in the Toyota. That's why it was also termed as the Toyota system at that time, or zero inventory system as earlier at that time. Main focus was on the inventory management, or to obtain the zero inventory, because inventory was assumed as the biggest evil in the system. And in the many industries also, this was being observed that the 40 to 50% of the cost that was involved in the inventory management itself. And that's why people focused on this area and earlier, because there was no pressure of the competition. That's why industries were not focusing on that. And as the pressure of the competition increased, the industries and organizations, they were forced to adopt the new and new system and for the continuous improvement. And that's why JIT system and the other similar systems they obtain their importance. These we have discussed. Now that was about the JIT system, and that I have explained. And in case of any query that can be asked, or thank you.